Hi, this is Rachel Wright here with Verdant Strategies, and today I'm here with Leah Heise, and we're at Benzinga Capital Conference. It's actually very exciting energy here today, and I know that, it's a very difficult market in some areas, but there's definitely some silver linings in some places. So I'd like to say first, how do you like Benzinga Capital Conference?
I love Benzinga. This is one of my favorite conferences. I find a lot of work gets done here.
Yes.
And you meet such different types of people. You have the investor side. You have a lot of operators either looking for capital or looking for ancillary services. So it's a really good biz dev conference for me.
Yeah.
I really like it.
Yeah, it's great. Have you had your panel already?
I have it at 1:30 today. We're doing siloed industry, AR, financing, and that kind of stuff.
Okay.
Which everybody needs because AR is a mess right now.
Yes, it is. So I'd like to talk about what you're doing in the industry right now with regards to restructuring, operational efficiencies, and things like that.
One of the clients we're working with is a large pubco, and we're doing, reorging, looking at headcount, making sure that you actually have KPIs and metrics when you're working in terms of HR. Sometimes I find that a lot of these companies don't manage their HR like cash flow. You have to pay attention to your headcount. It doesn't do you any good if you go through a whole process to eliminate headcount and then 2 months later you've just doubled what you reduced. You really have to really have to have a line of sight on how are you assessing whether the FTEs are worth it. You have to have a whole policy and a really good relationship between HR and finance.
Yes.
And ops. You really need to have that kind of
cross-functional.
Oh, absolutely. Discussions on, a lot of times as we build these companies, these multi-state operators, especially very early ones that you scale, you have these kind of sacred cows or legacy employees that have been in there from the beginning because they're founders or they are family members of founders, right? And maybe they were an accountant and you made them head of supply chain, but that's not really where the fit is. So going in and really assessing across the portfolio, what does the human capital look like? Yes. Are they in the right positions? Are the positions even positions that should exist?
Right.
Because a lot of times companies will think they need someone because the director of operations will say, I need 12 people underneath me. And really, they don't need that headcount. What they need is some project management support, stuff that can be outsourced and you can go in and out of.
Yes.
But it's good work. It's very good work. I love it.
Yeah. I was going to say, I like the outsourced model too, because then you could ramp up and ramp down instead of hiring and letting people go. That's an easy way to fix that, right?
Yep. And it gives you a real idea of whether or not that FTE, that full-time equivalent, is a true position or is it a more consultative position?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I also liked how you touched on the cross-functional, kind of C-suite or directors. They absolutely need to be coordinating with each other because otherwise
you see very siloed decision-making.
Yes.
Or decision-making from I had a project one time and I was trying to figure out what happened to a couple $1 million. And it was literally because they weren't doing cross-functional decision-making and they had a decision that was led by marketing, but marketing didn't talk to cultivation to see if it was even possible. So they ended up reducing margins and losing a lot of money because they were breaking everything up into popcorn bud, but they didn't grow it. They weren't growing the popcorn bud. So while that decision from marketing may have been valid, that popcorn bud was driving revenue, it doesn't make sense along the supply chain and you can't make a decision like that. You got to get inputs everywhere.
Yeah. It's funny. I just did a cultivation model and, looking at the popcorn bud, like you said, and actually the margins can tend to be much higher on those than the larges. And people don't think that.
And we're so focused on growing premium flower because premium flower is going to drive the brands, but there is money in the popcorn bud.
Yes, exactly. And who would guess that? They all think it's in the bigs.
Right.
So so as far as having right people in the right seats, I love that too. And it's EOS all over again. I don't know.
The rocks.
The rocks. Yes, exactly. The accountability chart.
That's right. It's so important.
Yes,
it's so important. EOS is so important. I'm working with one company and they just did the EOS, and they're a very small company, which I loved. It was so refreshing to see that already at that stage of their company, and they're starting to grow. They had done that kind of structural.
Yeah.
It's great.
Yeah. I love EOS. I've grown my last 2 companies on that.
Oh, good.
Yes.
That's good.
Yeah. And I try to institute it in my clients as well, as much as possible, as much as they'll let me. And it's funny because sometimes even if the founders don't want to listen to me, it's like, okay, well, it's fine because we're going to figure this out, whether they know that we're doing it or not.
Sure.
I have sneaky ways of getting it done without them knowing or their buy-in.
That is good.
So anyways, so yeah, as far as like reorganizational, restructuring, anything else on those topics that you can think of?
I think everybody needs to be thinking, not necessarily restructuring your debt. I mean, probably restructuring your debt. Everybody needs restructuring your debt. But I think we're at a point in the trajectory of this industry where we're heading towards maturation, and it really is time to start looking, where are those sacred cows sitting in your business? Does your structure make sense from a human resources perspective? We were very good at building lots of layers. And I'm not saying there should be a completely flat structure in any of these companies, but I think some of the middle management may not be aligned and may not be in the right location right now. So I think there's some opportunities to really reduce and collapse some of this bloat that we have.
Totally. Because it just builds and builds, and people don't look at the efficiencies over the years.
No. And the operational efficiencies, the lack of them is remarkable. I remember when I was building like early MSOs, and we did have processes, but as you grow and expand, those processes start to break. And if you don't go back in and start figuring out where are my processes breaking, it made sense when I had 200 employees, but does this make sense at 500 employees, and really dialing in those operational efficiencies?
I call it refoundationing.
That's a great word.
Yes, I think I coined that. I may have coined that.
Love that. That is a great term.
Yeah. Once you reach a certain level, then you have to stop and refoundation and look at everything. Really look at everything. It doesn't take a lot of time. Yeah,
it doesn't. And I find people aren't using a lot of data to manage their businesses. They're not like, if you're looking at a cultivation department and maybe you have 83 people in the cultivation department, do you know whether or not you have any level of efficiency? Like, what are the metrics you're using, and how many people do you actually need in there before the department breaks?
Right.
Like, you got to know that floor, because everything from there, either you're going to cut too low or you're going to be too heavy. Right. So you got to know. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, there's little KPIs to track. There's a few KPIs. I don't like having huge KPI dashboards.
Yep.
But there's some, like I found in some cultivation facilities, if they're getting like, let's just say 2.5 pounds per light, and then another facility is getting a little over 3. Well, what are they doing? I mean, it's not all yield. It's, it's quality as well.
I also like to know, like, how many employees per yield, right? Yes. Like, what is each employee doing?
Yes.
So you can measure.
How are they contributing towards it?
How are you contributing towards the yield?
Yep. Yeah. Yep. I think that's great. Yeah. Let's just chat for a few about the international markets, because that's very exciting.
It is exciting. I love the energy in the international markets, because it feels like when I came in 2015, 2016, like, they're excited.
Yes.
And they're excited about medical, right? Like, we have some rec opportunities internationally, but mostly they're excited about medical. They're excited about building quality control and CGMP. And it's just, EU GMP. Like, it's a whole fun new world. Right. And it's hard. You've been in this for a long time, right? Like, in the US, we've got a lot of headwinds. And, and we're not where we thought, we're not where we thought we were going to be when we all walked in. We're still kind of pushing that rock up the hill. So it's nice to kind of escape a little bit and go to the international markets where there is movement and there is traction. And I think we're going to see more legalization across the globe.
Absolutely.
And I think a lot of countries are going to beat us.
Yes. Yeah.
Which is unfortunate.
And I mean, I guess us as professionals that have been in the industry for a little while, we have an advantage in the EU market, because a lot of these obstacles that they're facing are exactly the same obstacles that they're facing here. And so we've already been there. And I think if you're resilient and you've stood the test of time in this industry, which is like, we talk about dog years, of course. It's like, but we're still here.
Yeah.
We're
still doing it. And I still believe in the plan.
Right. Yeah. So I think that we have an advantage
Yeah.
because we're learning the same lessons over and over and over again.
Yep.
And you know how they have deal fatigue. Well, there's cannabis fatigue too. If you're still resilient, you're here, you're optimistic, you still love the plant, you love the people, that says something, because that means we have some personal longevity.
Sure.
Like we know how to take care of ourselves. We know how to stay in the game,
Sure,
so to speak. So we have a lot to offer, I think. So
I think so too.
yeah. So on that note, I just want to say thank you so much, Leah.
Thank you.
How do we get a hold of you if somebody needs your help with this?
Sure. You can reach me on LinkedIn at Leah Heise, and you can also find me on wolfmeyer.com.
Great. Well, there you have it, Rachel, right here at Benzinga Capital Conference in Chicago.